Give me the Philly Eagles. What?
I was going to keep working through it for one more run of my shit. But...
All right, I can do it. Yeah.
No.
All right.
You ruined it. Welcome on Mears Show. I'm Mo.
Mears.
Week 9's here. Jason Jones, the guy that was all mad last week, ended up being on NFL Network's Inside the Game Day AM session helmet.
Yes, that's close, but yeah, that was something like that. And he got to interview Stevie Johnson from his mom's basement.
Mo Mears went to work. We got some interviews that'll show up at the end of this show.
That's right.
But Week 9's got some good games. Let's get into it. First game we're going to do this week, Baltimore traveling to Pittsburgh. In my opinion, the game of the week. Baltimore embarrassed Pittsburgh Week 1.
They did, but you know what the name of the game in the NFL is? Momentum. Momentum. And Pittsburgh has it. 4 in a row they've won. Baltimore's offense has been struggling. Came to life a little bit in the second half last week, but it was Arizona they were playing.
Yes, it was.
But Pittsburgh's been playing well. They beat the class of the AFC in New England. I like the way they're moving the ball, little short passes. Roethlisberger not turning the ball over. I think Pittsburgh takes it to Baltimore at home and comes out with a victory.
I don't see any way possible that Baltimore wins this game. I thought they were going to lose all week last week to Arizona, embarrassed by Jacksonville the week before. The momentum has shifted since Week 1, and I'm going to go on the momentum train and take Pittsburgh at home as something I don't normally do. Call it a fucking lock.
Wow, he locked it in.
Next game we're going to do, Philadelphia traveling to Chicago, Monday night, back on track, Jersey. Are you happy now? Are you happy?
Of course I'm happy they won. But are they back on track? I can't go that far. They're only 3-4. They did put up the most complete game I've seen all season. And I'll tell you what, LaShawn McCoy, a touchdown in every game this season, most underrated running back in the league. They're going to go into Chicago. McCoy's going to run all over them. Vic's going to throw the ball downfield like he was last night. He will look good throwing the ball, accurate. I like him to go into Chicago, win this game, and Chicago will be on the verge of missing the playoffs.
Let's do a couple things in this game. Philadelphia looked really good. Vic looked better running the ball than he did passing, and he looked really good passing the ball. I like the way the Eagles look. I think they're going to go into Chicago and handle Chicago. I don't know what we have with Chicago quite yet, but as far as the NFL rules go, Philadelphia finally, for the first time in the history of their world, had 2 successful challenges on awful calls, and if they messed up 2 more calls, they had to live with one of them without ever missing a challenge.
Yeah,
they threw the ball 7 yards forward, and they called it a backwards pass, and that cost them a challenge, and they won't get it back. They got the additional challenge. Terrible rule in the NFL, but Philadelphia handles Chicago at Chicago on Monday night. Next game we're going to do, Jets traveling to Buffalo wherever they are home this week. Canada, Nova Scotia, Buffalo, who knows?
Exactly. We don't know. What we do know is Buffalo is currently tied for first place. They're going to remain tied for first place after they beat the Jets this week because Ryan Fitzpatrick is on his game. He's going to distribute to all his receivers. Fred Jackson's going to run over the Jets' defensive line through their secondary onto fantasy touchdown land. Love it. I like the Jets to get their ass handed to them this week because the Jets are awful. I don't care what anybody says. Give me Buffalo.
I root for Buffalo. Buffalo loses. That's how it works. This is how the game's going to play out. With 4 minutes to go, Buffalo will be beating the Jets by 17. Mark Sanchez will fumble the ball. He will boot it 30 yards forward in the end zone. They will miss the call. It won't be reviewable because Buffalo will already have won their 3 challenges and will be out of challenges. The onside kick will go 9 yards. Buffalo will not be able to review it because they're out of the 3 challenges that they won. Jets will get the ball. They will throw a Hail Mary that goes off Plaxico Barris' prison helmet, and then it will land in the lap of a Buffalo Bill, and they'll call him a Jet, but it's not going to be reviewable because they've already lost the 3 reviews they were successful on. And then they're going to kick the ball 4 yards on an onside kick, and they're going to call it Jets ball, and they're going to not be able to review it because they've already won the 3 reviews that they have. And then they're going to kick a 62-yard field goal, and in Canada, that's worth 4 points. Jets win because I'm rooting for Buffalo. That's how that game's going to roll because I hate the Jets, and Buffalo can bury them. They won't. Next game we're going to do, New York Giants traveling to New England. New England at home. 5-2 versus 5-2. I didn't think we were going to do this game originally because I thought the Giants were 2-5. That's how bad they look.
Yeah, well, they just barely snuck by a very talented Miami Dolphins team at 0-7.
Whom the week before Tim Tebow snuck by.
Exactly. So here's the deal. This is very simple. I got very easy math on this one. Tom Brady hasn't lost at home in like 25,000 games.
No.
The Patriots haven't lost back-to-back games since 2002. I don't know. I made that
Whatever.
up. It's been a long time.
Good enough.
The Patriots are still pissed that the Giants ruined their perfect season in 2008.
Yes, it was 2008.
And the Giants suck. So Patriots win. They're going to win by 20, so make sure you lay your mortgage down on this game.
I would lay the mortgage down on a parlay. Push the spread 7 whichever way you want to go, because Pittsburgh wins by fucking 40 and Patriots win by 42.
Nice.
I don't have much question, and I hope I'm right. As we alluded to earlier, we got a special treat for all the Mullen Mears fans out there. Mears got a little upset about the whole Jonesing for Football interview this week, and he took it to the streets on our social networks. We have 2 interviews this week that will blow your mind.
Tim Tebow, thank you so much for being on the Mullen Mears Show this week.
First of all, it's my business not to thank you first. It's my business to thank the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ first for being on this earth. And then I can thank you second for being on your show.
Okay, well, that's fine. How do you feel about the 45-10 drumming you took at the hands of the Detroit Lions this week?
I don't know if you saw the week before that with Dolphins. The Lord was with me that day. I'm not sure what happened this week as far as the drumming. I didn't come here to answer those kind of questions. I'm not very happy about that. John 3:16 said that the Lord and Savior gave His only Son to the earth so that we can exist on this earth and play football, and I think we need to focus more on the Dolphins game because of that.
Well, I'm sure our fans will like to hear that explanation, and thank you very much for being on the show.
Once again, it's my job to thank you. Second, it's my job to thank you first, not for being the Lord, and then secondly to the Lord for being on this earth.
All right, well, it's a pleasure to have Cam Newton join me here on the Mullen Mears Show. How you doing today, Cam?
Well, I ain't never had a day like this, never in my life, but I'm a blessed individual to be here.
Okay, well, we just had Tim Tebow on, and I'm wondering, with the comparisons being drawn between you and Tim Tebow, who do you think's the better quarterback?
I'm a blessed individual. Tim's a blessed individual, and I ain't never had to answer no question like that before. But by the time I get to answer the question, it ain't a question. There ain't no question like that. I think by the end of the day, it comes down to us both being blessed individuals.
Well, that just clears it up perfectly for me, so I appreciate that. Do you have any final comments for our audience?
I'd just like to thank the Mullen Mears audience for having me on here, because I am a blessed individual. I also know that Tim Tebow would, as well, as a blessed individual, know that ain't nobody ever done nothing like this before, and I'm just happy I went number 1. So that's our show for week 9. I'm in the middle now, so let's go right here for the thumbs up, no thumbs down. And I think the subscribe is going to be somewhere in here. Poke on that and subscribe to our channel. Mears on the road with the interviews. I'm enlightened after those interviews, and I feel that that's going to really take our show off. So leave some comments and we can talk about that, and we will see you next week.